Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Finally I get a chance to review Belle De Jour by Christian Dior, or well actually François Demachy. Mr. Christian Dior has passed away, may he rest in peace, many decades ago. But he wasn't a perfumer anyway. François Demachy, what have you done with Belle De Jour? Now I hunted down the 40 milliliter version, loving it. Now, you know I travel a lot, so Dior doesn't offer us in there, well, what the Privee, the Dior Privee line used to be called, is now called Maison Dior. They don't offer anything between 40 milliliter and 125 milliliter bottles, but since, you know, to take on board as a carry-on perfume, you can't go over 100 ml. So it's either 40 ml to take with me when I travel or nothing. So, you know, over a year ago, the news kicked in, okay, 40 mLs are coming or already have come to some special places in Paris. And now they're kind of slowly getting all over the world, as well as the new series. In addition to the already Maison Dior existing fragrances, we have all of the new ones, you know, Sakura, we have Belle De Jour, we have Dior Amour, we have, oh my God, so many of them. Sauvage something. Oh, I forgot the names. There's a lot of them. And we're going to get to more or less all of them pretty soon. But the first one that I purchased and hunted down is Belle De Jour. Now, before we get into the spraying and the smelling, just to show you the difference, like between these little, wait, let me button myself because I'm going to have to stand up and show you everything. I'm wearing this combination of Super Mario, Nintendo, and this kind of rosy mixed with a bit of brown and a hint of a pear peachy color for a reason, mixed with the pleaf. They're you know, I always go anyway. So look at this. This is the difference between 250 milliliter Bois d'Argent and 40 ml Belle De Jour. This is what you're going to be getting. It's as tiny as it gets, guys. The packaging is a bit bigger. So if we were to compare, here I have an Eau Noire 250 Cologne package, and this is Belle De Jour. So, but then Belle De Jour outside of its package, that's not going to be working out very well for us today, is it? No. All right. Great. Yeah, just great, Dacob. Just keep doing it. You're going to make it. There you go. So you're going to be tricked into thinking, this middle little box contains a bigger bottle, but the bottle inside is this tiny. This is the 250 ml. That's how it looks like. Let me just take this foliage off. It's like with the Gautier Le Male. You know, you kind of peel off the plastic or classique off the metal container. Then you take this off. And then you have the beautifully paperwork kind of, I think they have to do by hand, part of the making of this. There you have it. You open it up. You have your little sponge inside. The bottle is there, protected perfectly. Very elegant. Loving. This is I prefer these round ones actually to the rectangular kind of containers from Chanel, because I also know that the round ones are harder to make, takes more time, and is more costly. I just find them much more elegant than the Chanel ones. So there you have it. But now, where did I sprayed it many hours ago. Let's respray it. We're going all on, full on. I can't. Oh, okay. Now, I've mentioned in my, you could check out a description box down below. I shall post a link as well as at the end of this video. You can check out my unboxing of Belle De Jour and my first impressions of it. And you can see, for those of you who already watched that video, you would have heard from me saying that I don't really like this title. This name for a fragrance, Belle De Jour. I still don't like it. Now, a lot of you have been telling me, but Dacob, you know, it's the Louis Buñuel movie Belle de Jour with Catherine Deneuve. I know that perfume. I know that movie very well. Thank you very much for pointing it out. But this fragrance to me does not have anything to do with that slight sadomasochistic tinted flavor of Louis Buñuel's movie. You know, whenever I think of that movie, I think of Catherine Deneuve tied to a tree. It just, this ain't that. Not at all. Not in the slightest. And so this might be one of the reasons why Belle de Jour to me is not the right name. I don't like that name because the way this perfume smells tells me, it's not that this perfume doesn't tell me a story. Oh, it does. It does take me places. It just doesn't take me to that place where Louis Buñuel, God, why can't I say? Because I always want to say Louis. So Louis Buñuel, where he wanted to take us with his movie, is not the place this fragrance takes me. So, but since Belle de Jour is always, to me, connected to that movie, that's why I don't like the name for it for this fragrance. I would, and also, I have to say, I do prefer when fragrances have one-word names, tops two. Belle de Jour, it's just already too long. It's just, I mean, Bois d'Argent kind of works for me. Au Noir works very well. Dior Amour, tacky, but, you know, one word, it's okay. But Belle de Jour, just, I don't know. Anyway, title aside, de gustibus non est disputandum means we don't debate taste. You might like it, I might not like it. It's all fine. We're all different people. We have different tastes. So I just don't like the name. The smell. Okay, when I first sprayed Belle de Jour, I did not like it. And I still have my problems with the opening notes. It bites me. It's very aggressive. It's aggressive to a degree where I cannot really smell out. I get hit because I know perfume so well. So I know what's going to come, kind of more or less, but I can't really smell out the ingredients. They're all kind of mashed up and just like sizzling and kind of boiling all together. And when everything comes to, it's like the color black. All of the colors in one give us black, but black is not a color, really. It's kind of a combination of everything else that's put together. And so you can't really see it, you know. And that's why this to me is like all the ingredients in the beginning are just like compact like that together, and you can't really smell them out. Again, I get hints of what is, you know, but I can't smell it. And that's really irritating to me because it keeps me guessing, but not in a good way. And that's why when I was at the Dior counter trying this one out for the first time, the sales lady told me, because, you know, having this kind of mashup of everything, I thought to myself, oh, are they trying to make it smell or kind of give me the illusion of being sparkly and bubbly? Is this Dior's aldehydes? Is this a version of Dior's aldehydes? Dare I ask? And then the sales lady said, oh, no, Dacob, François Demachy says that, you know, he lets Chanel do the aldehydes, darling. He doesn't do aldehydes for his Maison range. And I was like, oh, okay, aldehydes not fine enough for Missy, huh? Okay, yeah, throw some shade at Chanel. That's fine with me. I mean, aldehydes were super expensive back in the day, the 20s. Now, of course, they're easier to produce. And anyway, okay, so I'm sensing bubbly, sparkly aldehydes in the top notes. At the Dior counter, they said, absolutely no aldehydes in here. Fine. I stand corrected. Something else chemical is in there. Why? Because the longevity of this one is a beast. A beast. I'm telling you, this stuff is incredible. Because it opens up a mess. I needed 40 to 50 minutes for that kind of yarn to detangle itself, and every ingredient, very simple perfume really. We got basically 3 ingredients. There's many more in there probably, but the 3 ones that are kind of mentioned in there are the ones that play out this very simple theater play that's happening on a stage before our very eyes. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Jean Cocteau, wonderful writer, for playwriter, author, also artist, because he would also draw, friend to Coco Chanel as well. He made a couple of incredible pieces for theater. Some of them have been filmed by, was it Visconti or Fellini? I think Fellini did with Anna Magnani The Human Voice. I have it on DVD. Gosh, I can't remember. Was it Fellini or Visconti? I think it was Fellini. Very short kind of a movie of Anna Magnani on the phone with her lover. And Pedro Almodovar also had The Human Voice in one of his particular movies where Carmen Maura is on stage on the phone desperately crying. Incredible. But anyway, so what I want to say is, like Cocteau with theater pieces, sometimes, Tennessee Williams as well, very few characters, almost no scenery, almost no scene change. Like there's just one setup, one set, one scene for the entire play. 1 to 2, tops 3 characters in this play. But it's delicious. It's delicious to watch. You sit down, the curtains open, the play begins, just one actor on stage, and you're relaxed because you're just loving how the setup is in the room. It's kind of old school. You see the attention to detail. Whoever was setting up that stage, it looked like when Visconti would actually direct Maria Callas in Milan, in the opera. There is a particular set of pictures in you could Google search it of the Camellia Mistress, La Signora delle Camelie, with Maria Callas in the set, how Visconti would set the flowers, everything. You know, today if you go to the opera, most of the times you have these awful abstract concoction of wannabe architectural studies of something abstraction. I hate it. I love the classical approach. You know, we're in an apartment. I want that opulence. I want that. I mean, if it's a clochards under the bridge abode, I want that too. But if we're, you know, in an apartment and there's a woman waiting for her lover to call her, but he just won't call her, and that phone won't ring, and then when it rings and he's with another lover and he's abandoning her, and I want that apartment, I want that pain there. I want that bed to be a mess. She's on the bed, she's been crying. I want the negligee on the floor. I want that negligee to be real silk, and I want it to have that peachy pear color, similar to this, and I want the curtains to be drawn on the window, but just slightly off, so there's some rays of light kind of filtering through. I want the door to the apartment to have a heft to it, not just a painting on a wall. I want that to be a real door. I want a spilled vase on the table, and I want that to be real crystal. And I want those flowers to be arranged partially on the table and on the floor, and they have to be roses, because roses are in this fragrance. And I want that table also to have a big, again, crystal kind of holder for fruits. And the only fruits I want in there is 15 pears and 2 peaches. And then I want to have a painting of the forest in autumn, hanging from the up to 3 tops 3 paintings hanging off the walls of this lady's apartment. Actually, now that I'm smelling this, we are in The Human Voice by Jean Cocteau. Actually, do yourselves a favor and read it. You're not going to do me a favor by reading it, because I didn't write it. Jean Cocteau wrote it. It is incredible. It moves you. It makes you cry. It makes you laugh. It's the essence of human desperation and need for love, but not getting it. We feel her pain. And it's painful to watch, but at the same time, we love to watch it. We love to watch it because of the attention to detail, because the attention to detail is so perfect that you keep looking and you keep you keep wanting to come closer to that stage. You keep wanting to see more and more details, because you know that if you had a chance, if you were given a chance to get closer to the stage, you would discover more details. So you're enjoying that trip, that ride, and you have the best actress on stage acting out that pain, but also that pleasure. So we're confronted with pain on the stage, but we have pleasure watching it, not because we're sadists, but because we can relate to that pain, because we've been there, and we love that attention to detail, because that's how our lives are as well. That's how messy our existences are as well, and that's how much love we put into, furbishing our house, into hanging the painting right, choosing the right poster if you don't have money for painting, or if you're not painting yourself, But that stage, you want to look at it and you want to smell it. And you have that pear and peachy fragrance wafting off that table, because those are not plastic fruits, they're real fruits. Those roses that are on that vase that fell over, they smell incredible. There's a lot of roses everywhere. And you have those woods, those trees, those forests, those menacing, dangerous, and yet autumn light brown and golden hues of trees and forests all over that stage on the paintings. And that's exactly what this fragrance is, because we have the pear flirting with the rose, constantly flirting with the rose as time progresses. And that pear and rose, they're dancing on top of these trees. And these trees, they call them woodsy notes. I'm so bored of niche ouds. Every frickin' fragrance now. I just went to the perfume counter again because, by the way, another unboxing is coming. This one is going to be a video of its own. It's another Dior. I have been called. Something did arrive. But anyway. So I passed by Guerlain because a lot of you are asking me for Guerlain fragrances review. And every time I go there, the lady says, oh, try out this new thing, the sandal thing, with oud. And I'm like, oh, always these freaking ouds and these sandalwoods. I'm sick and tired of them. I don't want them anymore. The only oud I really like is Oud Ispahan by Dior, because of the rose, not because of the oud. It's an interesting kind of game of those two. But anyway, I digress. This one doesn't have that heavy, cloying oud or sandal. The woods in here are perfect. They're slightly resinous, but they allow, and this is what's so genius to me about Belle De Jour. These woods allow the pear, the peachy pear, let's call it peachy pear, and the rose to maintain their relationship, this balance. It's harmony, but it's cloying, and that's why in the beginning there's a problem there. So it's like a lover's quarrel. It's like, again, you see one of the characters is on the phone, the other character is on the other side of the phone, and then there's that second lover who's in the other room with the other character, or so we think. And these are the three elements that are also in this fragrance, and they're constantly playing. The wood is keeping that rose and that pear, the peachy pear. There's some sort of energy between them. There is electricity between them. And it keeps them grounded. It doesn't let them evaporate immediately and the pear is gone and you don't smell it after 10 minutes. Oh no, you keep smelling that pear. And you keep smelling it for ages. And then the rose caresses it and then slaps it. And then the pear runs away and you just smell out the pear. But then the pear is back again and it blends and has some incredible encounter with the rose, and then they separate again, and then there's the pain because the rose is thorny and it hurt the pear, but then the woods drag the rose down again, and then the woods bring the pear back in, and it's almost like, it's almost like some sort of sports match as well, because it's a struggle, but it's gorgeous, because you keep, after the opening notes settle down and that kind of ball of yarn starts to unravel, like the plot of this theater piece on this wonderful stage where we have slight hints of kind of powdery makeup and the old wood, because this is an old theater. This is not a new built cement theater. This is wood. We're talking wood. We're talking not just the paintings. Ah, yeah, that's true. There you have it. Dacob. It's not just the paintings that are set on that stage. those paintings with the forests painted on them actually reflect the fact that the theater is made of wood, and that wood has its own smell as well, and it's an old wood smell. Theater type of dusty makeup powdery wood smell combined with the rose and the pear. And it makes you dream because, you know, like nowadays we go to watch a blockbuster, you know, Jurassic World. As much as I love it, I love it to pieces, but I also go to watch a movie like that because I want to forget my own reality just for like 2 hours, just like disconnect and live out something else. That's how theater, that's how good theater used to be, and still is today, perhaps. But I don't go as much to the theater anymore as I used to. Maybe I should again. But no real need to. I mean, I've been to the theater so many times in my life, but when I wear this is theater to me. It's a masterpiece. Seriously, Francois Demachy, you probably never watched these videos, but if you were to ever watch this review, I'm telling you here and now, excluding Bois d'Argent because you didn't do Bois d'Argent, you didn't make Bois d'Argent, but I mean of the perfumes that you created for Dior, this is your best. Really, in my opinion, this is your best. It is incredible. The simplicity of this one and the complexity of how the characters manage to maintain the suspense and the drama going throughout this theater piece is incredible. It's mind-boggling. It's a masterpiece. And at the same time, the simplicity of this one, and this is something very rare in perfumery, despite the fact that in ingredients, we have the simplicity of ingredients, minimum amount of ingredients listed, it still has really long longevity. Decent projection, sillage, but longevity. It lasts like even the next day on me. Now, more on clothes than on the skin. Now let's get to that point. Now, what does this mean? Also very fascinating for a fragrance. The smell on the clothes is different from the smell on the skin after a couple of hours. Because on the skin, the perfume will blend in with your own chemistry, with your own essential oils, your own hormones, and it's going to develop a certain elegance, poetry. It's going to develop its own story with you. But on garments, mostly cotton, don't do acrylics, cotton. On cotton, it will maintain the pear rose combo will stay fresh and sparkly even the next day. I sprayed it on my t-shirt and on my pajamas, and then the next day I wake up. I usually don't, I don't know, most of the time fragrances don't smell anymore. This one was there the next morning. It was there. It was still completely there. Sleeping throughout the whole night did not in any way kind of damage it or make it less intense or make the whole smell disappear. It was still there. It was incredible. And this is a very, very interesting, it's like a paradox, because the simple ingredients and yet we have the heft. Something as bubbly and ethereal as a fruit, like a pear could be, you would imagine just like with citrusy notes, they would evaporate quickly. No, this one stays. Another paradox in itself. So that's why I also kind of combine this kind of pear, peachy, rose color with a blast of a video game that's something that's the opposite of elegant, really, even though I consider Mario Brothers to be one of the most elegant pixel games ever created. But that's elegance on another level, I guess. To me, they're similar. They can coexist. So I'm wearing this combo today also to explain to you how you don't have to be a certain type of maybe snobby, cultured person to understand this fragrance. You don't. You could be whoever you are. You just got to open your heart and let it kind of tell you a story. Let that fragrance tickle you and let it kind of make you dream. And to me, we are in this theater. And Jean Cocteau is still alive. He never passed away. Chanel is in the audience. They were big friends. She would actually she would fund most of his theater pieces, and secretly in the beginning, because she didn't want him to feel obliged towards her. we have this wonderful audience. Everybody's so in love with the actor, with the actress on stage, but also the other actors on the phone or whatever have you. With the setting, with the smell. Everything is just, you know what, everything is just perfect. And those 2 hours or however long the theater piece will be, you forget yourself. And yet, by the time the theater piece is over, that story would have subconsciously fused itself and melted together with your own story, with who you are, with what you live on a daily basis. And you're going to take that theater piece home with you. And it will linger on. It will be a part of you and it will melt with you. Like every good story, we take them home with us. And they influence us. They have an influence on our way of thinking and our way of being and our way of behaving throughout the couple of next days or even weeks. The more powerful the story is and the better told it is and the longer it influences us and the longer it lingers on inside of us. That's why I love Twin Peaks so much, because it stays with me. It never goes away. When a movie is just meh, I watch it and it's out. The second the movie's over, I totally forgot the plot and everything already, and I don't want to think about it anymore. But if something is good, it stays and it keeps you coming back for more. And that's exactly what Belle De Jour is. And that's the story. You see, it's not Louis Buñuel's Belle de Jour. It's more Jean Cocteau's The Human Voice. And this one is peary, peachy, fluffy, and soft and innocent. But there's depth there, because it's that those woods, they can be haunting woods. They can be scary woods. But nevertheless, it makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like whatever story is about to come, and however dramatic it might be, it's the right thing. It has to be said, it has to be done, it has to be lived out. And it's going to take me wonderful places. Those roses are going to transform into something deliciously fruity and gourmand, even, almost. And then those fruits are going to kind of shift into the floral, and they're going to remind me of the fact that the pear, before it was a pear, it was actually a flower that turned into a fruit. And that pear and that flower grows on a tree. Everything is connected. Everything is holistic. Wonderful, wonderful fragrance. Also, I love the color. It's like a peachy, cotton candy, light peachy pink rose color of the liquid. Incredible. Also matching my total mood of all of this My Little Pony stuff that I'm going through. Oh my God, I'm collecting these rainbow My Little Pony re-editions for the 35th anniversary from the 80s. They're all scented differently. Right now I'm smelling apricot. Oh my gosh, just incredible. And the colors. This is kind of the color combination that I feel when I smell Belle de Jour. It's actually the best explanation. This would be kind of part of maybe the theater set. There you have it. All of these pastels mixed with the woods. It's a contrast, because when you think of woods, you think of darkness and you think of something mossy green in a way. This isn't. This is elevating. This is fluffy clouds and lightness, while at the same time there's this human pain and drama happening. It's wonderful, wonderful. In that respect, maybe I gotta hand it to all of y'all who say that it is similar to Buñuel's Belle de Jour, because we do have that lightheartedness, that apparent, way of living of this woman, but then she has that kind of secret, darker side to herself. Except, you see again, the difference is in this perfume, nothing is fake. There is no, oh, I'm acting out to be this way during the day or the night, and then during the day I'm like this while my husband is at work, then I turn into this weird dominatrix type of sadistic type of kind of looking for something else in my life type of person. No, this is literally both things. None of them is acted. They're both true. They're both necessary to one another. It's a symbiosis, and you love living it out in a circular motion. There you have it, guys. Circular motion of the human voice. I would call this one, I can't pronounce it in French, La voix humaine, the human voice. Look it up. It's the title of Jean Cocteau's theater piece. That's the name of this fragrance to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this video. If you have, please do thumb it up. And let me know what you think about Belle De Jour and this video in the comment section down below. Also, consider joining the Patreon Fashion Bunker family. I am superdacob, all spelled together, on Patreon. Thank you so much for all of you who have already pledged on Patreon and have become patrons to my channel. For those of you who haven't yet, you can check it out. I have exclusive videos only to Patreon that are not available for YouTube, as well as exclusive photos that are only available to Patreon. Thank you so much for that. And for those of you who wish to keep on just, sticking with us in the Fashion Bunker on here on YouTube, consider subscribing to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So guys, no matter if you're a Belle de Jour or if you are the human voice, never give up on love. Love you. See you soon. Take care. Bye.